Discussion 3 on the Bible. I would like to address the part of the Bible that is the essence of all of God's teaching. And that is written in the form of the Ten Commandments. And also the essence of that. And then I will mention something else. So I would like to take a moment and read to you the Ten Commandments exactly as they're stated in Exodus, the second book of the Bible, the Old Testament, chapter 20. Here we go. Exodus 20, the Ten Commandments. And God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself a carved image, any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them nor serve them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing mercy to thousands, to those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work. You, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is your neighbor's. So these are the 10 Commandments. Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 to 17. They are restated as a summary in Deuteronomy, because the book of Deuteronomy, the last book of the Pentateuch, is a summary of all that has been going on up until that point. So once again, 1. You shall have no other gods before me. 2. You shall not make for yourself a carved image. 3. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. 4. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 5. Honor your father and your mother. 6. You shall not murder. 7. You shall not commit adultery. 8. You shall not steal. 9. You shall not bear false witness. And 10. You shall not covet your neighbor's house, wife, male or female servant, ox, donkey, or anything that is your neighbor's. Those are the 10 Commandments. If we turn over to Deuteronomy chapter 6, the title is The Greatest Commandment. And I would like to focus on chapter 6, verse 5 of Deuteronomy. And I'll read 3 verses. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. And these words which I command you today shall be in your heart. So the greatest commandment is love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your strength, with all that you have and all that you are. And if we do that, if we follow this teaching and are obedient sons and daughters of the Lord, it will automatically be that we will also follow and honor all of the other 10 commandments. So under these 10 commandments, I want to now mention that there are really 5 main sections that are found here, and those are idolatry, violence, the tongue, honor, and rest. So under idolatry, the Bible repeatedly talks in many other places about adultery, stealing, lying, and coveting. And a lot of these sins have to do with the thoughts, the thinking. To be guilty in God's eyes, we don't actually have to do the action, to commit adultery, or to steal or to lie. And coveting really is desiring what is not ours, another person that does not belong to us, or a thing, or riches, or honor or pride. So a lot of the sin is occurring in the thoughts. It doesn't even have to be made manifest in one's actions. It is the same amount of serious in God's eyes that it deserves the death penalty. The second section is violence. It has to do with any type of violence, of course, any type of physical abuse, sexual abuse, and it also occurs in the thoughts. Again, it is mentioned more than once in the Bible that him who is angry with his brother without cause, is as guilty as if one who has killed a man, a human being. The third point here is the tongue. One of the commandments is don't take the Lord's name in vain. So there are many verses in the Bible about controlling one's tongue, and what we speak is what we get. So we have to be very, very aware of negative speaking, which originates in negative thinking, right? So they're all connected to each other. Fourth part is honor. The greatest honor is due God's, because He is the one that is, in the end, most worthy, of course. But then it also says to honor our parents, that we may live a long life. It also says to honor one another, treat one another with the utmost reverence and respect, and to honor all people and all of life, because all of life is God's creation. Last but not least, the last section that I have found, relevant to include on its own is rest. It says to keep the Sabbath day, do no work, rest in the Lord, recover, replenish, focus on the Lord. Just as God gave us the example, in 6 days He created the whole universe and the whole earth and filled it with all the living creatures of the air, of the earth, and under the sea, and then He created man and woman in 6 days. So we too are to spend 6 days of our week planning and working, but the 7th day is holy to the Lord, and we should keep it so that we come back to God, put God number one in our heart and life, and just rest in Him. Rest in Him, don't focus on anything else, just let it all go, and just rest in Him and His promises. That's it for now. I'll see you soon.